Hi. 1 second, I'm just gonna set the thing real quick to, what game? Alright. Let me just set the game for this real quick, and we can get into it. This won't take 2 minutes. Ah. Go. Alright. I believe it is time to get into it. Day 2, Trial Former. I'm hoping to at least get through this and Trial Ladder today. Alright, 9:34 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. Lana. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia, but there is one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. Alright, let's save her ass. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. I mean, you've got Emma, which is basically the same. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Finally. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. Alright, let's do this. We got this, right, Emma? Right? Hi, Edgeworth. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. Why? You think my love for you is gonna disrupt the trial somehow? I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. Forgot to do that one dialogue. Whatever. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. What do you mean by professional witness? Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. The Cough-up queen? Haven't I seen you somewhere? Yes, my basement. You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar. I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. I don't think you're allowed to eat in court. Ah, and for you, I have a fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? And you, sir? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? That's great. It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. He has trouble getting witnesses to talk, and it's amazing. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I think you might be allergic. I always thought that caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? The name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. Prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I'm a professional. The fuck are you talking about? Huh? What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. Okay. What? Miss Starr was a detective? Aha! I know who you are. Cough-up? Cough-up Queen Angel Starr, Your Honor. Long time no see. Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr. Well. Ooh. Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. And a chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block, in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. Thank you for the floor plans. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have... Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can. Give them your worst, Miss Starr. Wait, are they talking about me? Yes, Phoenix. They are. Okay, let's just listen to this testimony. Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work? Which boyfriend? Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? Come on. I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Monty Python. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Press everything. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they were used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Unbiased, she says. Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr. Which boyfriend? This boyfriend. He's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? I mean, the yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before applying. The security guard room is in the lot, in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That'll be the room with the security side. Incidentally, did you bring your lunch boxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. I sensed something. Sure. You sensed something. So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? It felt like... how would you say? Oh yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds. I have no idea what that means. Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese. A young cheese? A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn. That must be hard, yellowed, and sharp as a tack. Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. In any case, there, in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. Through the wire fence? By garish car, you mean? Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Mr. Edgeworth's? Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it? Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? I'll have you know, I've won 4 cases, and all of my clients were acquitted. Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. No thank you. That That was inspiring. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. Could you cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph? You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap. I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness. Why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Are you sure that's Edward's car, though? It's black and white. Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Skye! So, what was the defendant doing at the time? Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all. Yes, that's about right. Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg! I mean, a person! Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor. So the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point. Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Let me check the court record again. One knife wound. From chest wound, 4.5. She did say about. Yes, the next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that! I've pressed everything. One second. Time to press again. How did you know? I expect the press. Their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they're used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. If I had been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? This boyfriend, he's the detective. accidentally. Did you bring the lunchboxes by car? I just had to press practically all of these again. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. By garish, you mean Mr. Edgeworth's car. Why do I have to press these all again? This is stupid. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. Why do I have to press all these again? I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Wait a second. But she's not holding a knife?
Objection!
Okay. And you witnessed this. You saw Miss Skye stab the victim with the knife. As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. I mean, I just had breakfast, but now I'm getting hungry again. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph! This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Skye not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection! That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yes, it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. Oh! What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing.
Objection!
And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? It's in black and white! It's not crimson! But it's a black and white photograph! Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Or it could be coffee. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse? I mean, if it's from Edgeworth. You got a better idea? Obviously objection. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. Okay. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. Okay. Sure. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understand it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Skye was cold, calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder.
Objection!
Was it? Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Really, Judge? Really? I didn't get much sleep last night. Premeditated murder. A serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. Murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. I'm just gonna press this and then... What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves?
Objection!
The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Impressive. I'm sorry that they took you off the force, Miss Starr. This is bad. She's got them thinking this was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated. Yes. Don't smile like that. Sorry, I just... What do I... Well, Edgeworth's knife was just in the car. She would have brought her own murder weapon, if not.
Objection!
Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there? The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. Oh! What's that, Rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder. And that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important part? The murder weapon? Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Order. Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Tisk, Wright. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. That one sucked. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. I mean, it's a different charge if it's premeditated, right? So, if it was in self-defense, that's a different charge. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Really now? Angel's deduction. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Well, I've got a piece of evidence that immediately refutes that. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. I know exactly which statement I need to present on, too. Because it was so obvious. Starr has turned into a challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. A short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. One second. It was only one, you dumbass. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. Oh, yummy. Chris's favorite. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. Huh? What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this. But take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness? You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible. I think it's actually curry. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Spattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Aha, sure. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify! So long. Red muffler. Her red muffler? Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck, so she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. Well, I mean, she does wear a scarf. She's right. Miss Starr was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for spattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. Judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes. Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Miss Wright, this is our chance. A chance for what, I wonder? Miss Starr's turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. Actually wearing it here? No.
Objection!
Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. Can you prove proved it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be! Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations! Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. Such a hunk. What was my objection, chopped liver? But it was there. A scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really? Now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. And ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Starr, resistance is futile. You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. Well, cobras are snakes, so that's me, Angel Starr. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr. Are you perhaps a lesbian? Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Or just... I don't know. I'll just press everything. Partition is fine.
Hold it!
You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said. I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details. Yes, I should. I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. The lunchline car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes? Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain-link fence in front of you? I went over it, of course. Amazing. A cough-up queen, lunch lady athlete indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Skynock get away? Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. I think I'm supposed to present the photo here again? Muffler. She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't mean... By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately, my memory... It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order. So she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Well, I'm gonna press this first and then I'm gonna present the photo. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? Aha! I was going to ask the same thing. I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. How could you have seen that if you were behind a chain link fence? So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. Then, when I boldly grabbed her arm... What is this? What is this positioning? The chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this. What is it, Mr. Wright? How could you have seen it all if you were...
Objection!
No? Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. It does? I don't see anything contradictory. Really? That didn't hurt me any... That didn't go so well.
Hold it!
So Sky tried to run. I'm sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. But she didn't do it. You have to believe me. Oh wait, one second. That makes sense. Yeah, wait.
Objection!
She was behind a partition. So, Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky.
Objection!
The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. You haven't heard her just absolutely destroying you? Edgeworth? Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. Why? Order, order! What is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies.
Objection!
So stupid. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question? Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about where she saw it. Right? Yeah. Miss Sky tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie. I see. But say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location.
Objection!
A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one.
Objection!
No, shut up. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The place from where Miss Starr witnessed this crime was here. No, wait, it was the security room, right? Yeah.
Take that!
This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room? Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr? How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today, a man has got the better of Angel Starr. Is she a heterochromia? Just noticed. Order, order, witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective, you should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished, and I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands.
Objection!
It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Uh-huh. Me? Yeah.
Things loading, hold up.
Hi!
Hey, give me 1 sec. Sorry, everything's loading. Oh,
Everyone,
God.
this is my friend Zoe.
Okay.
Hi!
Hi.
Do you want to take over as Angel Starr?
I actually can't stay super long. I was
Oh,
gonna
that
stay.
sucks.
I can.
I'm almost
I
done
was
with
gonna say
her.
I can actually watch the stream.
Okay, sure, cool.
I was gonna say I can actually watch the stream on Thursday. Is what I was gonna tell
Ooh.
you while you were here.
Okay, good to know. Um, if you want to join me on Thursday and voice and stuff.
Yeah, that's also what I was going to offer.
All right. So we've made a
Yeah,
plan during my stream. All right.
I know. Look at me.
Yeah, that's fun. Okay, so everyone, my friend Zoe is going to be joining me on Thursday for this stream, I guess. Um, for the next stream. If you have to go
Yeah,
now, I will see you then.
yeah. I'll see you. Have fun.
Thank
My stream
you.
still won't load to tell me where you are, but I believe in
I'm in the
you.
middle of Angel Star's testimony right now.
Mm. All
Almost
right.
at the end
Well,
of
I'll
Trial
see you
Former.
later. Have fun.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Anyway, back to this. Huh? Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference. What? What would change? Angle of view to the crime, obviously. No, wait. Distance to the crime? Can't decide which. It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime.
Objection!
My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet, but it's on the second floor. I don't see how that would change what she could see.
Objection!
What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Skye? Well, witness, you... Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry for the boyfriend. He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. So she had to move all the way around to B block, huh? That's why I had to go through the visitors parking in B block. That's quite a detour. Wait, it was locked from the inside? Probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes? This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork. You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention. Judge, this is such a detour. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely. Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this?
Objection!
5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time. If you like it al dente. I've got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. Yet? But you had the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. Miss Skye dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth is the next witness ready to go. Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright! That was too close. I'm afraid that the cop-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. 5-minute recess, let's go. Hold it! Come on. Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's the one she tried to foist off on me. I prefer not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr. Is this your jumbo lunchbox? What was that? Fucking... Whatever. Woohoo! A triple-decker! Judge, out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. What a motto. What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? After this, I think I'll be either done or take a break. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. She says blood type. What? There was blood found on that shoe? Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
Objection!
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. You're not even a detective anymore! And you had blood tests performed? Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics. In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating. He's so smug about this. It's great. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Nuh-uh. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen. He's furious. You could at least study some evidence law. Really. Prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. The dark age of the law began here. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Oh no, wait, it started a long time ago. I'll just do this and then be done, I think. I should have mentioned this 5 minutes. And now to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? Sure, okay. So you brought it to the forensics department. If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. And she got away with a little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. Well, the man was stabbed after all. Did that blood belong to the victim, Detective Goodman? As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, Rookie? Well, speak up! Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB, and there's also positive and negative. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there, which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear. There's really only, like, 8 variations, officially, I think. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone's but Miss Lana Sky's. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. Everybody who talks about decisive evidence is wrong. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? I don't think those are fish guts, and they certainly don't look peppered. Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? Problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? There is a problem, obviously. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there is one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, Rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Oh, you know, I totally forgot to examine this. Aha! Ah! There's blood here, too! On the sole of the shoe? It's gotta be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood. This blood. It's horrible. This blood might be an important clue. Why does that take so long to load? Show us the problem with this evidence. Oh, I was just supposed to... Okay. Hey, there's blood on the bottom of the shoe, too. How could that have happened? I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe. Don't mess with me, Rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? Am I just supposed to present the shoe again? Oh, the crime scene photo. Yeah, that makes sense.
Take that!
There's no footprints. The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint. Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't there any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about the shoe.
Objection!
This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order, order, order! Well, witness? What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright. But it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction, but then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright, think! Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? Hold it? Hold it. There's no hold it for Edgeworth? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. The predator, this one, the leopard woman. Rawr. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that, I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness. Well, was the oil drum empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Ha-ha! You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Why are they using investigation core here? That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty. Erasing evidence. That reminds me, Miss Skye's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe? Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something! Please! What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But Angel Starr is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. Hold it! Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Starr, was on the prosecution's side? You know I hate prosecutors, so why the fuck would you think that? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you had your fill, but here you are, demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence. Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else.
Objection!
This is taking far too long. The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cough up, Queen. Look at this. The hell? A photograph? I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no room for error in this evidence. Mr. Wright, wait! Look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia. Right. Wet or not. What the fuck? Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Objection!
Thank you, Phoenix. Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial is over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I gotta go ahead with this. I love you. But you can be just so dumb sometimes. I suppose since we've gone this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph. Muffler.
Take that!
The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph. A muffler is also a part on a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system. A pipe. I see. And I see. What's that suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there is something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Objection!
No, you dumbass, it does. Sorry, Miss Starr. But it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth and the muffler is related to this case. I wonder why.
Take that!
Well, Your Honor, how do you feel about that? Actually, I don't feel well at all. I have this pounding headache. No, I meant, what do you think about the... I'm afraid the reason for that headache is you, Mr. Wright. I thought... Come on. That cloth was found in the car's muffler, right? Muffler. Where have I heard that recently? Muffler. Let's see what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Why do you think this is related to the case? The phone. The word muffler was overheard during a comment to Emma at 5.
Take that!
Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? I wonder, could it have been? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Well, Seems we will have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Ooh, that was close. But we made it. At least for now. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all. He's still hungry? To be continued. And that, my friends, is where I will actually stop for today, because I honestly do not have the energy to continue. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on Thursday. Wait, no. Here we go. Here's a good playing a South theme.